stage is set. A storm is coming. The land braces itself. Welcome to Motorstorm.
I wanna take you on a roller coaster.
To some, racing games are pretty much a dying breed. It is unusual to say that with how popular they were in the 90s and late 2000s, but now with Burnout pretty much going to sleep, Wipeout going 6 feet under, and Need for Speed kind of losing track of its own identity, it's a massive shame to see a beloved genre of games limited to the odd one or two simulator-focused experiences. The PlayStation era up until the end of the PS3 saw a major boom of different racing titles. The more accepted of the bunch was of course the arcade outings, where there was less focus on frustrating gear shifts and rather a bigger push to have you hold down the trigger finger with all your might as you gained speed and defied the laws of gravity in street races, hover ships, and explosive collisions. Xbox and PlayStation owners have all had their fair share of gear-headed games, but Evolution Studios, the designers behind some of the popular World Rally titles, had a little more of a taste of that arcade itch up their sleeve, and so I ask you, have you played Motorstorm? Motorstorm for many was an introductory title into the foray of PlayStation 3 gaming. Sure, its announcement trailer didn't exactly spawn a visual treat like many had come to expect, but the gameplay was tight and visually, it still had something charming deep down within its muddy bones. The first game focused on dirt road racing that allowed you to pick from a buffet-style plate of varying vehicles like motorcycles, buggies, racing cars, pluggers, and big rigs. You then of course drove around set-lap tracks that consisted of different paths, generally up to a max of 3 in total, but the great thing about it was that Motorstorm didn't feel like a linear racer in a sense. It had one direction to put the pedal down to, but the openness of its outdoor lanes gave drivers the ability to ride up rocks, ramps, and bash through the environment. Some of the lanes even specifically catered to types of vehicles, and more like death traps for others like ATVs and buggies dominating the higher up platform sections, while burly trucks and 4x4s trudged through the mud canyons below. You could of course risk riding your vehicle against its comfort zone, but it wasn't exactly recommended. But then again, where is the fun in not trying? Luckily enough for a launch title, Motorstorm gained immense success and spawned a number of sequels and portable titles. In a sense, this is one of the few franchises to actually have a consistent track record, with the developer even living up to their name by evolving the series with every new release. Motorstorm Pacific Rift, for example, added in elemental maps like water-heavy rainforests or lava-filled landscapes. The games were in a sense taking hold of a more unique identity by making the tracks themselves a type of persona. This included having bigger jumps, more vehicles, and of course, different paths to drive down. Pacific Rift was also a gorgeous game to boot up, and the level design within its award-worthy tracks were in huge variety, not just in modified versions as you progressed, but also in the types that players had to properly learn if they wanted to succeed. It was an arcade series that actually had you trying hard to gain victory, while also rewarding you with epic crashes, player-created set pieces from the races, and a photo mode that you couldn't stop pausing the game to use. The final console title, known as Apocalypse, scaled the crazy a lot further as well. Like Pacific Rift, you had a ton, and I mean a ton of maps, and these all carried over the water and fire theme like before. But with Evolution comes even more destruction. Motorstorm Apocalypse lived by its title, not just in walking the walk, but also talking the talk. Its tracks were designed in a number of different phases based on the variant you chose. that all featured some form of different destructibility. This meant with every finished lap was a nearly revealed form of destroyed lane, or even sometimes a created one. It brought epic encounters along with a comic book story with some pretty well-known voice acting chops to carry you through it all. It was a defining moment for consoles too that showed that particle effect limitations weren't a thing depending on how cleverly you implemented them, and that visuals and even aesthetic scale could still be expanded and achieved without a newer jump in technological availability. Apocalypse was basically the culmination of years of hard work, love, labour and concepts finally brought to life, and while some other titles have tried to replicate it, there is just something about Motorstorm that can't be copied. Motorstorm is a series that has been constantly fixed when it was never really broken, by just adding on top of it through each and every title. It is a series that didn't deserve the coffin it was forced into, and heck, you never know, maybe it'll come back to us in the future with another money well spent sequel. But for now, let us know in the comment section below, did you play Motorstorm? By letting us know what your favourite game in the series was, what your favourite vehicle to drive is, because we would love to know. But until next time, ciao for now.